is Sarah, and this is another episode of A Different View. I'm here on Treasure Island again. San Francisco's behind me, and in case you didn't notice, this is America, and I'm not a Russian bot. I never thought I'd have to say those words, but Russia sort of lives in people's heads right now, especially on the internet. The last 2 years, people are talking about Russia like it's still the Cold War, and it hasn't been the Cold War since the 1980s. One of the local congressmen from where I come from in Northern California talks about Russia all the time, like literally all the time. I've heard people talk about the Soviets, and it's been 30 years since there was a Soviet Union. Well, almost 30 years. The Soviet Union ended up in the dustbin of history because people stopped believing in the Soviet Union. I know that sounds a little bit crazy. People stopped believing in the Soviet Union, but a lot of historians say the Soviet Union stopped existing because by the end, because the economy was collapsing, Chernobyl kind of melted down, actually did melt down. Not a good situation. You can watch a whole bunch of videos about it. But by the end, of course, they went to war in Afghanistan for too many years, and we funded, the United States funded the Taliban, which was not necessarily a good idea. But, you do things in the heat of the moment because we were obsessed with the Cold War, and the Soviet Union was obsessed with, I think, the domino theory. I'm not exactly sure. It was a long time ago. But people are still obsessed with Russia in America. They're so obsessed with Russia, you'd think it was still the Cold War. But it hasn't been for decades. So I'd like to tell you straight off, honestly, my name is Sarah, and I am not a Russian bot. But apparently, a lot of people think anybody who's not anti-Trump and American online is a Russian bot right now, because anybody who says anything vaguely conservative or anybody who says anything pro-American is immediately accused of being a Russian bot. Because, apparently, if you ain't voting for Joe Biden, you're a Russian bot, which is kind of crazy because this is America. We have two major political parties. We have a couple of third parties who are only major in their own minds. But, I love you third party people too. I mean, this is America. We do have a choice. And we're all Americans. I mean, hopefully if you're voting in the U.S. presidential election or any American election, you're an American, because if you're not and you're voting, you're committing a crime. But you definitely are not a Russian bot, and I'm not a Russian bot, and I'm kind of tired of people talking about Russia all the time because Russia's old news. Sorry, my Russian friends, but, you're old news. The Soviet Union is over. And it seems to be coming back to life in the minds of people who are scared. And it's a terrible thing to live in fear, because when you're living in fear, when you're seeing Russians everywhere, when you're accusing everybody who disagrees with you of being a Russian bot, you're living in a surreal world. You've lost your grip. You've lost a connection with reality. Some people call it Trump derangement syndrome. I don't like acronyms. I really don't. And, if you want to hate Donald Trump, that's fine. If you want to be a Democrat, that's fine. If you want to be a Marxist, well, I guess you have that option because this is America. But if you want to live in fear and just see Russians everywhere, you're kind of living in the past, because looking for Reds under the bed was something crazy people did back in the 1950s. And the 1950s were 70 years ago. So get over it. I'm not a Russian bot. And, maybe there are some Russian bots online. I don't know. Russia has really long winters, and maybe they have nothing else to do except create algorithms and leave incomprehensible comments on other people's YouTube pages that don't seem to be written by people who speak English. But, maybe everybody who leaves crazy comments on the internet is actually a native English speaker. Maybe they just went to a lousy school run by Democratic school teachers who never taught them how to use commas and periods and semicolons. Personally, I'm still a little confused about the semicolon thing, but I'm not at all confused about one fact. And that fact is, I am not a Russian bot. So remember, Tovarich, I'm not a Russian bot. And if you want to know what Tovarich means, I just called you friend in Russian. And that's a joke, because it's 2020, And yeah, it's been a lousy year. It's been a crazy year. And a lot of people have completely lost their sense of humor, but we should still be able to make jokes about Russia. So please, calm down. Don't live in fear. Stop obsessing about Russians. And, try and have a more open mind. I mean, if you're going to, yell at somebody, find an insult better than "you're a Russian bot," because, if you see Russian bots everywhere, you've kind of gone crazy. So don't be crazy, please. We have enough crazy people out there. This was A Different View, and if you like A Different View, please subscribe. And please stop seeing Russians everywhere, unless you're in Russia, in which case definitely see the Russians. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to A Different View.